So we've got the sequential tranny. Everything's going on this car. We're ready to go for a little test drive.
The tranny went in smooth and easy.
Nice.
First try, went right in. Everything worked just fine. Never had to take it apart 80 times.
Yeah. That was sarcasm.
Yeah, it sucks.
Anyway, we've got the Haltech hooked up, and we are now talking to the transmission, and we're going to test the shift points just to get a little bit of a feel of how quick the tranny needs to shift and where the settings need to be in order to make it nice and smooth. So let's get in and take it for a little testy. All right, so we've got shifter here hooked up. It's interfacing with the laptop. Roberto's taking a look at things.
It's good.
I'm gonna drive through the gears real quick.
Yes.
Hold the camera.
Yeah. Okay, so you see like the cams?
Yep.
It's very low.
We're looking at V cam here.
V cam, and then the second you start going into it, it starts
to split.
Right.
Nice. Okay. So we're gonna get in first here. This is the PPG sequential. We're just gonna do a partial load test, but not peak on it yet. Fresh motor, fresh everything. And we're back down into.
You got to keep going.
Got quite a bit of a throw to it.
Yeah.
I got to tighten that a little. But there you go. So we're in first now. We'll go to neutral.
Yeah.
There we go. So got the gear indicator right here. That's showing us what gear we're in, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I have that set up into the Haltech, so the Haltech knows as well. So later on, if this car's too much of a shit show, we can have boost by gear.
Yeah, this is good. So good start.
Yeah.
Sequential tranny working pretty good. Let's go one more time. First gear. Like that. I'm using the clutch, no problem. And if you want to really hammer it, you don't have to use the clutch. You can actually just pull the gear. So I'm going to take my foot completely off the clutch now, and we'll just go right into it. No problem. Good, dude.
It's awesome. Sweet, good start. So we'll get a little more time into it and we'll start to make some more power. And sequential tranny is in. That is nice. All right, switching gears back to the scooter. So we have parts here to install. Fresh off the plane from scootertuning.ca, we have the Yasuni pipe. This is a City 16. So kind of like a C16, but it works with the center stand and it is compliant. We're gonna remove the compliance because it's inside there. Let's see if you can see here. This is the restrictor. Now Scooter Tuning has worked with Yasuni in order to get a unrestricted silencer to go with it. So there's only one restrictor in this one, and that's that one right there. So we're gonna be drilling that out, get that out of there so that we don't miss any power, because ain't nobody trying to have time for that. That is some stupid little restriction. So we'll get that out. Also have the Stage 6 CNC drive pulley, or the front pulley, stationary pulley, whatever you want to call it. This goes on the front. It has no fan and it's ceramic coated, so it's a lot lighter and should last. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna give that a try. We got some more springs for the Delta clutch. We're gonna try to crank that clutch up a little bit so that we can get a little bit more aggressive launch. And I'm gonna be installing some studs instead of the header bolts for the exhaust. So that way I'm not worried about stripping the head, because that is a big problem on and off with these things. So we'll be putting these in, put the exhaust in, and I'll test it first like that, just to see the difference, and then we'll throw the different clutch spring and variator front pulley on there. So let's get started. Off with the old exhaust. All right, so there's the exhaust. That's off of there. That's the Technogas Nexstar. I'm not really too fond of it, but it did its job. But now we got this one, and I have already taken the restriction out of it, so this should open this exhaust up completely. So grind that out, and doesn't have any restriction in the stinger. So we're gonna put this on and see what we get. And there's the CD16 bolted up. So now we're gonna make a dyno run, and we'll see what kind of power we're looking at. Hoping to gain a couple horsepower and really just extend the power band a little bit. So let's fire it up, get her hot, make a run. So you can see, it definitely started out really well. We had a little dip here before it went up. So I gotta figure out if this is CVT or maybe some jetting. But the result is pretty good. We're looking at peak up top, 16.4. That's a big jump. And even down here, we're still looking at almost 16 horsepower. So huge difference, 5 horsepower gain just from the pipe. That's big. So I think I'm gonna take it down now and feel it out. I want to see if it's the CVT that's causing me that little dip, or if it's in the jetting. So I'll go ride it around a little bit, and if I need to, I'll make some adjustments. But pretty impressive. All right, so we got the V-Box set up. We got the exhaust on. Let's take this thing for a rip, see what the 0 to 30 looks like. Looking for some improvements. The pipe sounds awesome. Feels good too. Here's where we're going to try our 0 to 30 test. Let's see what we got. Hopefully we don't do a wheelie. Wow, 2.9. That was a 2.9 0 to 30. I really, I can't do this with one hand anymore. I'm like barely holding on with the phone. So, oh, Carla's impressed. And that's pretty intense. So, really excited about that. 2.9, guys, that's a big gain. All right, so I was able to make a couple more runs, and I mustered a pretty solid time out of it. Focus, focus. There we go. So 0 to 30 was 2.7 seconds. 0 to 60 was 12.3. So we're actually getting a 0 to 60 in that little area now, which is pretty intense. And you can see pipe looks really good. We're really happy with how it looks and performs. So I'm gonna play with it a little bit more. I think I need to put a little bit lighter rollers in it. I'm running a 3-gram roller right now, but I think if I step it down a couple of grams or a couple of tenths of a gram, we'll end up right in the zone. So I've got some 2.4s that I can mix in there, and we'll see how that goes. That'll give me a 2.8 average across them instead of running all 2.4s. But then we'll try that and see how that comes up, and see if that helps any. But right now, the way it is, really impressive. So 2.7 seconds, that's down from the 3.4, I think was our best. So you're talking about a half a second or more just in the 0 to 30. So big gains. The thing is doing a wheelie now. I have to put a little bit of weight on the front to get it to stay down. So it is the right pipe for this setup, I think. I'm just gonna play with the roller weight a little bit, get it down a little more, and then we'll see if it gets any faster. But successful upgrade. Also gonna put these tighter springs in, these clutch springs, and this pulley. So we still gotta try those two things. But I think the springs are gonna give me a little more on the launch, because I need it to get up a little higher in the revs faster. You can feel it just, so if I can get the launch to go straight to the high revs, right into that 12,000 RPM range, this thing is gonna be insane. So stay tuned for more.